Take a sip of some hot coffee, warm up my cold bones, my cold Dan shirt.
Okay?
I just saw your shirt. That was real, by the way.
This is my favorite.
The cowboy. Yep.
So you think you know what women want?
I've never claimed that. I've never in my life
You've implied it.
claimed.
It's been implied.
Yeah, but the implication is not me coming out and being like, I know what every woman wants, and it's this.
Why do you sound?
No way.
Why do you sound like Troy McClure when you say that?
Hi, I'm Troy McClure. You may remember me from such films as Smoke Yourself Skinny and Get Confident, Stupid. I love old 90s cartoons like The Simpsons. I used to watch the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the old cartoon. Yeah. I had Turtles underwear.
Did you have the comforter?
Leo was on my butt cheeks, my 5-year-old butt cheeks, right? Like,
no one wants to think about that.
I had Power Rangers comforters, like the pillowcases and stuff. Yeah, the Turtles, right? They were such a formative part of my youth. The movies, the cartoon, and like I loved their different personalities and how they would interact with each other.
Who was your favorite? I mean,
Leo.
Leo? I was gonna guess Michelangelo, because your name is Michael.
I like Mikey. I like Raph. I don't like Donnie so much. Leo, I love, because he had swords, right? Like he had the color blue, and he had swords, and I just thought like that, like he should be the leader, and I want to be the leader. You know what I mean? Like he just seemed like an all around good dude. But I've heard people, like people our age who are just grown ass children, essentially talking about the Turtles, and they all loved Raph.
Oh,
like everybody loved
Raph.
Oh, a little too Raph. Yeah.
I love Raph.
He's great.
Like the bad guy. He's the bad boy.
Yeah,
he's the rebel.
Yeah, it's a girl thing, right? You guys love the bad boys. What about the Leos? What about the Leos among us?
I mean, Leo's like smart.
Yeah. No, I get it. You want a Leo in the streets, but a Raph in the sheets. That's what you want. You want a Donnie in these streets, but a Mikey in them sheets.
Only you. Only you.
You do, though. Tell me I'm wrong. Do you want a Donnie in the sheets? Ladies? If you don't know who the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles are, Donatello was the nerd. He was the one who like knew how all the stuff got put together. He was like the engineer nerd.
And he had the
bow staff.
Had the bow staff.
Yeah, he was like the really smart one.
Yeah.
No shade on Donnie. He was one of the turds too. But you know what I mean? Like Raph in the sheets.
You know what else he had going for him?
Raph, you mean?
Yeah.
Tell me.
Well, this is why I think I might go towards a Raph in the sheets. I mean, he got a lot of exercise, like flipping those size around. You know what I'm saying?
If you don't know what size are, they're defensive weapons that block swords.
They look like a mini trident.
Yeah. And they're a defensive weapon, and I'm doing everything I can not to make really sexual motions with my hands. But he had fine motor skills because he had to
twist them around.
I see why ladies would want a Raph in the sheets with his fine motor skills.
Well, what did Leo have?
Swords.
What's this motion do?
A true swordsman. Are we still talking about the Turtles? I think we're talking about sex today.
I guess so.
I guess we're talking about sex today. We last week we talked about sex as well, like way better sex. What we were really talking about last week was the movement from complication to simplicity, and how like I think our hearts as human beings kind of crave that simplicity, right? And we ended up talking for a long time about sex, and then we thought, well, if we're going to do it, let's just do it.
Let's just do it.
Let's just talk about a good old raff in the sheets. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. But like with the right person, yeah, there's like it's kind of like an open world that you get to explore with somebody that you care about, right? Ideally. Obviously, there are all kinds of ways to have sex with people in a lesser version of that kind of relationship, right? Like dating culture is real kind of transactional, and it's real just like, let me try this out, let me test this out. Do our bodies go together? Do these things feel good together? Stuff like that. But I think what we're talking about today is not just the fun of a raff in the sheets or a freak in the sheets, whatever. Like it's not just that. It's like it's finding the true joy of what happens when you're in a genuinely safe relationship where you can explore the mystery of each other's pleasure and each other's bodies together, kind of for the long haul. Sex is a gift from God, right? It's absolutely a gift from God to explore in a faithful and committed relationship. Bible talks about marriage obviously being kind of the number one place where that takes place. I think our culture has different ideas about that. That's not really what this podcast is about, though. So I think we're going to kind of land in a place of like safety, commitment, trust. We're going to land in a place of the relationship is maintained by the boundaries of trust. And within those boundaries, there's a lot of exploration, a lot of joy to be had, I think.
So when you talk about exploration and sex, I think about kinks or, foreplay
Yeah.
or bringing stuff into the bedroom to make things a little bit more
Totally.
spicy.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a way of discovery,
Yeah.
right?
Absolutely. I think that those are all like legitimate, valid experiences as long as both people are on the same page about it. I think those can act as like shortcuts, though, as well, like shortcuts to intimacy or like a manufactured excitement or even a manufactured mystery. Like, yeah, I think that we can rely on things that are maybe easier to approach. It's funny to say a kink is easier to approach because for a lot of people it's not, but like it's an easier activity to approach than the really difficult work of a heart-to-heart connection. That's the hardest work because it's not predictable. It's not measurable. It's almost like luck of the draw kind of thing. Like maybe you're not on the same page, or maybe there are certain parts of your relationship that line up, but other parts don't. And it takes more work to get to a place of like the full boundary of trust than it does to just kind of like spice a thing up and get some satisfaction out of whatever, Again, not kink shaming. I know I had to say that last week. Like I'm whatever. But like, I think that the harder work is the heartfelt, heart-centered work.
Because what we're talking about here is real intimacy and what that looks like and why and how that really does make sex better.
Yeah.
And it's interesting. It may be less approachable, if that's the word that you want to use, to bring something that's not just your bodies into the equation. But at the same time,
Yeah.
if for whatever reason the feeling isn't there, you're not having orgasms or whatever's happening, you're not feeling connected, which is probably a lot different for men and women.
Yeah.
What that true chemistry and connection feels like.
Mm-hmm.
But if you are bringing something else in to see if you can get that fire going, so to speak, that's easier, I think, because now it takes the focus on the new fun, shiny thing. Maybe it's not shiny, maybe it is. But it really takes the focus on, okay, well, we're going to rely on this new shiny object to get the desired result versus, okay, well, if what we're doing isn't working, you and I just have to be a little vulnerable.
Yuck.
Well, we need to talk about.
Yeah.
Right? Or maybe you don't use words.
Open lines of communication. Yikes.
I know, but that could be uncomfortable in itself too, which
Yeah.
could ruin the moment. So
Yeah.
maybe a more approachable way to do that is just let your body lead you
Well,
in the
I
moment.
think we're skipping a couple of steps ahead because do people even do people even mostly have that deeper rooted sexual connection that creates a much more rounded and wonderful and fulfilling experience? Like I don't even know if many people have experienced that heartfelt, really really connected in the bedroom kind of feeling. And we've talked about this. We've both had that experience where we're with somebody that we love and care about and trust. And I don't know how common that is or how not common that is. Um, do people even know what they're missing? Because I feel like we're jumping ahead a couple of steps and asking people to do this thing we haven't even defined what we're talking about yet. You know what I mean? So um, but you're right. I think people absolutely uh, lean into the easiest way to receive that pleasure. You know, and orgasm doesn't equal connection. It doesn't equal chemistry. Um,
Or even good sex.
it doesn't equal even good sex. It's I don't even know how to say it because sometimes you can be connected and vulnerable with somebody and not orgasm, right? You can still be sexual with somebody and then it doesn't happen, but it's not like that's that means it's like a bad experience or something. That doesn't, like, I know women probably experience that more than men, in general, I would say, but that doesn't then mean it's a terrible experience or a negative experience. Um, yeah, I don't know, but I feel like we've jumped ahead a little bit.
So what you're actually talking about is this place of living discovery.
Yeah, yeah, it's kind of an ongoing sexual reality that takes place in the boundaries of the relationship at all times, kind of always. And I think that creates a really healthy relationship where you're not constantly banging, right? Like that's not what I'm talking about. I mean like your connection is allowing for vulnerability, is allowing for being open. It's allowing for deeper heart to heart connections in the morning, in the afternoon, at night, through your texts, through your conversations, through shared experiences, through all of these things that add up into a place where you can be completely vulnerable, because sex is a really vulnerable thing, um, where you can be completely vulnerable and have the most vulnerable but the most pleasurable experience. And I think all of life is that living discovery of finding new ways to kind of connect on those levels that will eventually lead to, you know, those high points of pleasure, which is good sex, right? Those like literal climaxes. That's why it's called a climax, because it's the high point of the story. So it's like discovery really comes alive when that true kind of heartfelt connection to your partner exists, and hers for you, right? Like it's a go both ways kind of a thing. It can't be one sided. It's got to be a mutual thing as well.
So that's a process, right? It takes a long time. And if you really are connecting with someone before you've been physical with them, does that it kind of feels like that should always translate then? Because if you're having chemistry and if you're having a connection,
The word always is a stumbling block for me because there's no like there's no rule that says this will work out if you do this. There's no like math equation. It makes me think of the male orgasm versus the female orgasm. Like the male orgasm is scientific. It's a series of motions that are easily repeatable, easily measurable. You get pretty much the same result every single time. But the female orgasm isn't a science. It's more like an art. Um, it's like a painting. So I'm a painter. I went to school for art and I paint, and I can tell you that having dated and having painted, sometimes those paintings work out really well. Sometimes that painting wants to be the painting that you had in mind. Sometimes there's a tipping point in the thing that you're creating where it goes, where all of the problems that you've been having trying to create it, all of the technique you've learned to kind of create this thing comes to fruition, and it happens, and the painting is good. It's what you want it to be. And then sometimes that painting does not want to be the painting you want it to be. No matter what brush stroke you put in there, it doesn't want to cooperate. And I'm not talking about painting anymore. Like sometimes the vibe is off. The vibe is wrong in the relationship or in the sexual experience. And that orgasm is never going to happen because I'm not the right person for it.
Or you're not applying the right technique.
No, see, we always talk about technique, right? Technique is a second tier consideration. It's not about technique. It's not about dick size. It's not about any of those things, not primarily. Those are second tier things, I think. It's about vibe. It's not measurable. And this is what's so frustrating. And the only way we in society kind of talk about the female orgasm is as if it's the same as a male orgasm. Measurable, repeatable. This motion, then you're good to go. Mm-mm. Ever been with a woman? That ain't how it works. That's not how it works. It's an art form that has to be relearned. And, once you learn it, then those second tier things kind of come in. Or once you have that deeper connection, that vibe, and hearts are calling out to hearts, a lot of the time, that's when it's most successful. So, I've been in relationships where that was really successful. I've been in relationships where not so much. I hate admitting that on the internet, but it's just the truth. Sometimes
you like each other, you're into each other.
Yeah. Sometimes things
you
are
feel
aligned
like you're
enough.
having some chemistry.
Things are aligned enough to get me into the bedroom, but then it's not aligned enough to go beyond that because of whatever's going on with her, whatever's going on with me, whatever our pasts are bringing together, whatever bad technique I'm doing that day that's not working, or the vibe just isn't right. I'm not the right guy for that moment. So I think that's the case a lot of the time.
So you're not sexually compatible.
Yeah, but it feels like you are. Because there's chemistry.
Right.
Because there's chemistry over the dinner table. There's chemistry here. Like, oh, you like my smile and this little dimple. You like it. But then through the bedroom door, something happens. And maybe it's me, maybe it's her, maybe it's a combination of things not lining up correctly. I don't mean physically. I mean just like emotionally, spiritually, whatever. Things aren't there when you thought they would be.
See, this is where
it's an art.
It is an art. But when you feel like things should be lining up and when you feel like things are going in the right direction and then all of a sudden they don't, I feel like the tendency is to, well, maybe it wasn't that bad. Well, maybe we'll get there. Well,
work
maybe,
on it.
Yeah. I think it's hard to be truly, truly honest with yourself in the moment because.
Well, I go back to the painting analogy, right? Like I'm painting a thing. Do I trash the canvas? Sometimes throwing the entire canvas away or just ditching the painting isn't called for. Sometimes it's just not working that day, right? Sometimes you're painting a thing and it's like, I'm just not feeling it today. Sometimes it's a day thing. Mm-hmm. Sometimes the painting's never going to work out and you got to start fresh. That's relationships.
Can't you know, though? I mean, it feels like this is just just go have sex with a bunch of people and figure out if you're compatible or not because you don't know, you know.
That's a quick way to get some herps. Don't do that. You want the herpening? Is that what you want in your life?
Yeah, don't do that, folks. So when you had those moments and you're like, okay, this is not it's probably gonna be a new canvas start fresh kind of situation.
Yeah.
But you did just get done engaging.
What does engaging mean?
You know what it means.
Did you do the thing? We're gonna have to blur that out.
That's what we're talking about.
I know, but this is really like
Jesus podcast.
on my Jesus podcast. You did the finger in your oh god. Anyway, okay, continue.
Are you cuddling after?
Yeah, I love cuddling. I'm built for it.
You kind of are.
These arms are made for cuddling. Oh my god. Gives me hugs. Oh my god.
So you're cuddling even if you're like, yeah, this will probably be the last time.
Yeah, it's all a part of the process. Oh my god. And I don't think I know that in the moment either. Because like dating's hard because like at least the way I've done it is I try to give it the old college try. I really do try to just do it and do it right as best as I can. I have failed at that many times. I have, if you've ever been on the dating apps, like you end up talking to people at the same time. You go on dates with people at the same time, or at least I have. And then it gets beyond that and it's like, oh no, I haven't called it quits with enough people yet to pick one. And the optionality of that is a really difficult thing to navigate. So I've double dated people at the same time and caused genuine hurt. And I didn't intend to hurt. And I pretty quickly admitted it and said like, hey, there's this. And there was one time where I was like, can I just keep dating both of you? And she was like,
whoa,
no.
What?
Yeah, I just thought I'd ask. Listen, I wasn't in a great place, but I did ask. I was honest about it.
You were. I will give you that.
I could have lied. Could have kept it up.
I can't imagine she wanted to keep dating you after that.
She did not. But I did at that point, like, and my close friends and group can attest to this. I created a protocol in my mind. I said, like, I'm never going to do that again. Because that was like, that really hurt her. And just like, I heard the hurt in her voice when I told her. And it was just like, and mind you, we had known each other for 12 days. Like it was like dating apps are fast. Like it's fast movement, fast intimacy. And it got away from me. And I was just like, I kind of want to just keep dating both of you. Can we do that? Guys, don't do this. Don't do this. And I heard the hurt in her voice, and I put in this protocol in my mind where I never did that again because it was just like it was too hurtful and too unexpected and horrible, and just it wasn't worth it. It just wasn't worth it. Anyway, I'm no hero. I've done all kinds of experiments and just figuring shit out while I'm dating and trying to understand, like, what do I want? What do I not want? And we end up sometimes causing that hurt, and it sucks. It sucks.
Yeah. But in your defense, you do have to start the painting to find out.
Yeah.
If it's there, if it's not.
Yeah. How do you, this was the thing I never figured out. I never figured out the equation for how do you get on the dating apps and not end up with, people that you're talking to. And I feel like women really have this problem. Like you guys will have tons of people in your inbox. I feel like I have less excuse to navigate what it's like to talk to different people at different times, but you do kind of have to try to figure out whether or not you're gonna be able to be compatible with this person. And sometimes like that boils down to sex. Like it does come down to the physical side of things a lot of the time. Now I can also hear people saying like, well, like you have to wait to have sex until you're married. Like I could hear that in our comments because we're a Jesus podcast, right? Like we're talking very openly about this, at least maybe for Christians, taboo topic. It's not really taboo because we all do it. but I could hear that. And, I just, all I can say is that hasn't been my story to this point. And, I'm just here to be vulnerable about it and just to say it flat out.
I can also hear the point of view that, well, if you really love each other,
Hmm.
you want to make sure your hearts are aligned. And if your hearts are aligned and you're emotionally compatible and all
Hmm.
those other things, then even if you're not sexually compatible, well, then you just need to figure it out.
Yeah. What if you can't, though? What if you can't? Because it's a vibe, it's an art.
Fake it.
Whisper and Flame does not condone faking orgasms. Have a conversation.
Compromise. Just kind of accept that
No, it
everything
becomes
else
a
is great.
transaction. It becomes so quickly a transaction at that point, or a place of control where it's like, I'm not going to experience any pleasure out of this. So now I can use it as like a carrot to say, if you do this and this and this, I'll do this for you. Like it very quickly turns gross. And Whisper and Flame does not condone using sex as a carrot to get whatever you want out of your relationship. Like, sex really matters. It really matters that it's good for people. And if it's not, that's a real conversation to start having. It has to be.
But maybe you've tried, right? I'm just saying it. Even if it's not good, it
Mm.
doesn't have to be like, well, I'm gonna, as the woman, I'm gonna hold out unless I get what I want, or just maybe
Yeah.
it's a little
Yeah.
lighter, like flirting, but really like, hey, if you make dinner tonight, then
That's a transaction.
I'll get you dessert. Um,
That's a transaction.
but
If you
what
do
else are
this,
you gonna
then that.
do?
It's quid pro quo.
But what else are you gonna do? If the sex is bad, the sex is bad, or not even bad, just not good. If you're in a marriage and it's just vanilla
Sex
or
is
it's not good,
fundamental to a good relationship. It's fundamental to it. Why do you think we're obsessed with it as a culture? It's not just because it's pleasurable. It's because it's fundamental to who we are. And if it's not good in a relationship, I'm not saying throw the canvas away. Yes, if you're in a committed relationship and the sex isn't good, you need to work on it because it is a fundamental avenue of connection for two human beings. It just is. It just is. But I guess it just depends on like at what part of a relationship and what kind of relationship are we talking about here. If it's at the beginning, there's a lot more shades of gray in the beginning. You're not committed yet, right? Like I wasn't committed to 12-day-old relationship girl. In fact, I told her that. I was like, I'm not able to be just solely committed to you. I told her that before I told her the other thing. And she was like, let's table that conversation. And I was like, okay, great. And then she was like, come over. And I was like, you bet. I'll be there. Right? So she a little bit signed up for it. I was clear, but then she did not sign up for the thing that I did, the double dating. That was bad. It depends on what we're talking about. Are we talking about a dating thing where it's just like a few days old, or are we talking about a long-term relationship where the sex has not been good?
let's say the long-term
Okay.
relationship.
Yeah. Then it needs to be worked on. That's not a thing where we just throw away all the other good stuff that's going on in that relationship just because the sex is lacking, right? That is something that both people have to be okay working on, though. Absolutely. It can't be one-sided. If one person is one-sided about it, that's a recipe for an affair. That's a recipe for just saying, well, I'm just going to go have my needs met in another way. Both sides have to be on the same page about sex. And if you're not, then it takes work to do that. And both sides have to be on the same page about working on that.
It could be a fun thing working on it.
Yeah. Yeah. It's supposed
Like
to be
it
a fun
doesn't have
thing.
to be like I'm trying to be realistic about this, right?
Yeah.
I'm trying to be, and I've
Yeah.
been in situations where it's just sex. It's not that big of a deal. Like
Yeah.
I really underestimated the importance of sex in a relationship.
Mm.
And it felt daunting and more trouble than it was worth to
Yeah.
bring it up,
Yeah.
especially when you're talking to men, because no offense, you guys have sensitive egos sometimes. And being criticized about sex is probably not good.
Well, it shouldn't be criticism.
It shouldn't be, but what I'm saying and what you hear
You
might be different.
the but
If I come like, okay,
okay.
let's real life scenario. If I go to my partner
Hmm.
and I'm like, hey, sex is, I mean, that, how do you say that without
Why
it?
would you say that though? Why wouldn't you say, okay, let me explain it like this then. All right. I think this is maybe a more approachable way than to just say sex with you is, don't do that.
Meh.
Meh. Don't do that.
I'll just text it.
Don't text him either. Sex is meh. It's the eggplant, but it's down. No,
It's the emoji. That's
okay,
just
but think about men. Think about what men like to hear and like to do. There is an issue, and I know that you are the only person who can solve it. I want you to do this swirling technique instead of this up and down technique. The up and down isn't working. Let's do a swirl, right? Let's do it whatever if you're a swirl girl, right? Like whatever. I don't care. You started talking about sex. You brought it up. Literally? No. But
give me some time.
give me some time. No, but like put it in a smaller more approachable way to assist. It's not criticism because criticism isn't looking to assist anybody. It's looking to take your vengeance out on somebody else, right? So you want to feel more pleasure. You know that this technique that you do to yourself or others have done to you, and I get it.
You don't need to say that part.
There's so many landmines, right? With that entire topic, because I need you to do this.
Fix the problem.
Put it in terms of a problem. God knows you don't do that enough, ladies. It's about a problem that can be solved through technique. The bigger issue is not technique. The bigger issue is when the vibe isn't there. Because like I've dated women who we had enough chemistry to get through the bedroom door to the bed, but there wasn't enough there for them to trust. I think there's an invisible lack of trust that's happening a lot of the time when an orgasm isn't happening for women. It's a vibe inside, and it isn't measurable. It's an art form to reincorporate trust into a relationship where it has been absent for a while, and it takes a lot of work, you know?
But it's worth it.
It's got to be. Of course it's worth it. I don't know. Sex is always great for me, so it's probably worth it.
Here we go.
So when trust is really present, unlike those experiences that I've had where the chemistry didn't carry through all the way to climax, right? She was clinched up emotionally. Trust releases that tension. Emotional connection, like real trust that you know this person. And again, that was early in a relationship. But like the clinching turns to release. Trust leads to a genuine release. And I think that trust also leads to a physical release. I think so. That's the only way that we as men can kind of try to get our mind into, if we're not on that second tier thing talking about technique and dick size and all that stupid circumference, like who cares, right? Like
Circumference? Are you talking about girth?
On my Jesus podcast, I would never.
It's a word. It can mean a lot of things. Girth is not.
I don't like it.
You'd rather use circumference?
Measurement of a circle. Absolutely. That's absolutely what I would rather talk about.
Let me get out the caliper.
It isn't about that. That's second tier. Top tier issue for mutual pleasure, not just one-sided, because It's mostly easy for us, mostly in general, blah, 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 generalities, right? Like it's mostly easy on the man's side, but for mutual pleasure, it only takes place in a space of trust. That's where that unclenching can take place. That's my theory. Maybe I'm wrong, but I think that that's true. And if trust is the boundary that surrounds your relationship, that boundary can be really wide. It can have a wide circumference, right? It can be a girthy trust. It can be a real girthy trust, and all sorts of fun activities and exploration can occur in the boundaries of that trust. And that's where spicing it up can come in.
The living discovery.
And you can do that in a space of like of joy and trust, and you can figure out like how you want to approach your partner that day based on what you're doing, because it's all in a space of trust and mutual consent and mutual agency to say, I like this or I don't like this. Trust kind of is the silver bullet, because that's where you can have those conversations where you can say, hey, the up and down, not so much. Swirl me out, though. That'd be great. Side to side.
Swirl me out.
Hashtag swirl me out.
You are killing it with the expressions.
It's a girthy circle of trust, guys. Like that's all it is. It's a wide sandbox where love can really be physically manifest, and you can make love in that space of trust. Girthy trust.
When you say it like that, it sounds fun. Like it sounds like a fun thing to do.
Sure.
And by the way, how did we make it through this entire conversation? What are you wearing?
Oh, I'm a very good cat dad to Dan. See, Dan's right there on my tum-tum. But much more importantly, what are you wearing?
Oh, this is my Michael shirt.
I just look at that guy.
He's got all of the variations of Michael.
God.
I like the cowboy in the middle personally.
He's
given the...
He's got a Raph in the sheets kind of vibe, don't you think?
I think so.
Meet Cowboy Mike. He's a bucking bronco.